Probably going to be pissing off so many people in the making of this video, darling. And that's okay. You're entitled to your feelings, darling. But I just need to have this be said. I just need to speak my piece on this. And I'm sure that there's many other YouTube tarot readers that can relate to this that probably have wanted to say something about this, darling. But I'll just be the one to piss y'all off about it. That's okay. But something that I've just noticed since my time of uploading zodiac readings and just general tarot readings on YouTube in general, darling, there's always, I have over 1,000 videos on my channel, and without fail, there's always those people that will just start typing away on their keyboards saying just like, oh, you're a fraud, you're just in this for the money, darling, da 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 da.
Absolutely not. Not me. Certainly not I.
Like just a whole laundry list of things if a reading doesn't resonate with them. A general tarot reading on YouTube isn't resonating with them. Now just put this in perspective, darlings. When it comes to general tarot readings on YouTube, because they're all going to be general, darling, it's impossible for every single video that resonates with your zodiac sign. For every, if you're a Libra, darling, I'm a Libra Scorpio cusp, honey, I always make it known. It's impossible for every single Libra video out there to resonate with me and have it match my story because there's hundreds of millions of other Libras out in the world.
Can we roll back to the footage?
If you're going to believe in the concept of tarot readings, darling, you are generally accepting of the fact that there's some type of energy that an individual is connecting to. And so I just don't understand this concept people have where it's just so extremely self-involved with just immediately going to the assumption that the person reading the tarot cards are a fraud, that they're fake, that they don't know what they're doing, or any of these, just a laundry list of reasons as to why the other person's at fault for it, rather than just accepting the fact that this general tarot reading who's reaching hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, sometimes millions of people, darling, why they can't conceptualize the idea that just this video is just not meant for them. And I don't take personal offense by it. It just irks me in such a degree that it's just like, just this assumption that it's just like, just because you don't resonate with it, darling, that there has to be something wrong with me.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You can't, it doesn't fathom in some people's brains that, there's like 500 other Libra videos and it's just like, oh, well, maybe there's just another person that might be connecting with my energy, darling. Never dawns on them for that. It's just the immediate going to just attacking tarot readers. I'm not going to show screenshots, darling, because I don't want to embarrass people, but I've literally had comments on my YouTube channel a few months ago saying just like, oh, my ex-husband must have hired you, darling, to say this tarot message and try to get back at me, honey. And I'm just like, girl, like...
Wait a minute.
Like, what? Like, what? Like, what kind of, where is your brain processing this? Like, how do you go from point A to point B with just, like, how can you type this out and just still, like, not have that little voice in your head be like, wait a minute, maybe I should turn it back a couple notches, darling. Maybe out of these hundreds of thousands of people who are commenting and just giving likes to these videos, viewing these videos, subscribing to these tarot readers, maybe this just is not a week where it's connecting with me, darling. And I want to speak for my just general zodiac readings. Even if there's a week where I touch on a message for you and you're a Cancer, and the Cancer message for that week, darling, it just hits where it needs to be hitting, baby, and that's just fabulous, right? That doesn't mean that every other Cancer video that I post from then on is always going to resonate with you. It's just because it's a YouTube general tarot reading doesn't somehow dismiss the fact that you shouldn't be going to receiving tarot readings every single week of your life, every single day of your life. You shouldn't be consuming tarot and living your life by tarot. Now, I know this might be like a controversial thing to be saying or whatever, because I mean, that's literally money out of our pockets to be saying it, right? Because it's like nice and fabulous for everyone to just consistently be viewing our videos every single week, but it's not realistic. Tarot is meant to give guidance to those that need to hear it in that moment. That's why you'll hear a tarot message sometimes, there'll be one week where it's just like Cancers that are just having a fabulous reading, and then the next week I'm touching on to an energy of reaching to certain people who are at their lowest of lows. It doesn't mean as if I'm doing something for like clickbait or for money or anything like that. that it just means that spirit feels the need to bring messages to certain people of that time that need it the most. And I want to give this perspective. If a reading is resonating with you week after week after week, that's fabulous as well. But I just want to give this perspective for those that might be confused when it comes to consuming my tarot readings or just any other favorite tarot reader that you have, right? If you're just sitting there wondering,
Just like, why is this tarot reader's messages just not hitting the way that they used to hit, darling?
consider the fact that maybe it's just not your time to be receiving a message from us anymore. Now you're left with the option then personally to be like, well, maybe I should go to a different tarot reader. For me personally, I go to different tarot readers for different things. I go to one tarot reader when it comes to just relationships in my life, romantic and platonic. Well, nothing romantic happened in my life, darling. So platonic, my friendships and family, darling. I go to another one when it comes to my business because different tarot readers will tap into different energies and sometimes their messages will excel in certain facets of your life, and it's going to vary for everybody. A tarot reader is just not going to be able to just week by week just be hitting those messages every single time that you need to be hearing at that time, because that's just not realistic. The purpose, at least in my opinion, in my gnosis, darling, a general tarot reading is just there to reach the people that it needs to be reaching. I like to describe my channel as a little bit like when you're opening up the newspaper and you look at your horoscope for that week, and you'll take the messages that resonate and you leave what doesn't, right? Obviously, it's a little bit more of an elevated factor now that it's on YouTube and just a little bit more spiritual aspect to it. I mean, at least personally for my practices, compared to like a newspaper that's just printing out something, darling. I just want to give this perspective to people, is that just because a tarot video is not resonating with you in that moment doesn't mean that the tarot reader is at fault. Doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It just means that you're not in the energy that we're tapping into at that time. And maybe you're never going to tap into certain people's messages, right? Because, you know, everyone can do tarot. No one has this grandiose gift of just doing tarot. It's not as if like certain people are just chosen to do tarot, darling. Put it in perspective. We're literally just flipping some cardboard, darling. And then it's up to us to filter the messages that we get, that we're receiving, or just giving our perspective for how we're translating something. Tarot is an art form when you, at the end of the day, darling, right? When you put up an abstract painting, it's going to mean different things to different individuals. It doesn't mean one individual is wrong or the other individual is right. It just means that we're all receiving the messages differently, and then it just means different things to different people. There's like this confusion, or like even having like the sense of obligation of even just like watching my videos in general and being like, well, since I really like Velca, like I really want to give this a chance and try to like make all these messages resonate. I mean, and this is where I'm going to just speak for my case personally only, because I know some tarot readers are different in this way. You know, some tarot readers will say it's just like, if this, you know, maybe the roles are reversed, da 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 da. That's not really for me, darling. For me, you know, I don't like, you know, I always like to tell people, it's just like, don't try to make something resonate with your life if it's not resonating, darling. A good tarot reading is always going to give you those goosebumps, darling.
The flavor.
A good tarot reading is going to just send a shiver down your spine, honey, and just be like, whoa, wow. There's going to be certain messages, there's going to be certain words that are said in the reading, certain cards that are going to pop up that just hit in a way that's just like, that's it. That's my reading, darling. It's the sense of where people sometimes feel like there's something wrong with them and feel as if just because that their favorite tarot readers, messages aren't resonating with them, that there's something going on with them that they need to figure out with themselves. When the fact of the matter is, no one is at fault. You know, don't try to make something fit with you when it doesn't, because, you know, if you try hard enough, you're going to find a way to make a message resonate with you one way or another. And I mean, I guess if that's what you want to do, that's your business, darling. But I just want to give this perspective to those that might be feeling confused, or those that might even be feeling angry with me, darling, or one of their other tarot readers, because I've even gotten comments before where they'll compare me and they'll compliment me by insulting another tarot reader and be like, oh, well, my messages just hit in a much better way because their messages don't resonate and they don't know how to read tarot or anything like that. And it's just like,
I'm confused.
even when you're receiving like a private reading, most of the time it's generally accepted, I feel. Maybe times have just changed, darling, since I've started doing tarot readings for over a decade now. Like, it's generally accepted that, you know, give it time for it once you receive a private personal reading, like 6 months. And so I know it's a lot easier to just consume like 30 tarot videos in a week, because, you know, when you're done watching this one video, then you'll just see another one recommended to you, and then another one and another one and another one. And it's it's really addictive to consume, right? And some people even get caught in this toxic cycle of just consuming as many tarot readings as possible and just making all these messages resonate in whatever way that they possibly can make it resonate, rather than just using these general tarot readings, putting it in perspective that these are general tarot readings reaching thousands of people, and just using it for guidance. I always say, it's just like tarot readings are here to just give you some food for thought, a perspective to consider. Never making choices in your life, especially general tarot videos, which are just, it's a message that's just is meant for a general collective. It's impossible to just think that all Libras, all Geminis, all Aquariuses are all having the same focus in their life at a specific point in time. And I know most people will understand that, right? But maybe it's just like in the moment you don't really think about it. So hopefully this video, like for those that might not understand, just, you know, what I'm saying will just get them out of their head for a moment and be like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense that not every single Leo is having this specific financial problem or losing their job at the same time. You know, if every single Leo was losing their job at the same time, don't you think that would reflect a lot more in general society? If every single Aries was having a breakup at the same time, don't you think that it would just be reflecting in just the general news, right? So I just want to give this perspective. I want to just, as like a YouTube tarot reader, darling, I just needed to just have my voice be heard, darling. I just needed to just get this out and get this off of my chest, darling. Hopefully I didn't piss too many of y'all off. If I did,
Oh, I'm gonna do that anyway. I'm gonna do that anyway because that's how I am.
but yeah, I just love you guys so much. And, you know, don't feel bad if a tarot reader doesn't resonate with you in that time. Don't feel bad if your favorite tarot reader's messages are not hitting for a while. Maybe that's just not your time to be resonating with them. Find other tarot readers to touch on certain aspects of your life. Like I said, like there's certain tarot readers that I will go to for specific aspects of my life when it comes to general tarot readings, and just because it's just how it works for me, darling. So maybe give that a try. And, you know, I wanted to tell everybody in the comments, if you have a favorite tarot reader, or if you're able to relate to me, I'm going to certain tarot readers for specific things, put it in the comments below. Let the, you know, share the tarot readers that your favorite tarot readers, and maybe people will be able to find new tarot readers to find, you know, to resonate with certain aspects of their life, rather than feeling as if something's wrong with them or anything like that, darling. I'm gonna close this out now though, because I feel like I've gone on long enough of a tangent. If you haven't heard it today, darling, I see you, I hear you, some of y'all too well, and I love all of you guys so much. Bye, y'all.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
I gotta be good.